Have you ever wondered how a single transaction, one click, one request could bring down one of the biggest financial empires in history? This is the story of the moment that exposed Bernie Madoff, the man who fooled Wall Street, celebrities, and the entire world for decades. It wasn't the government, it wasn't the FBI, it wasn't a whistleblower. It was just one investor asking for their money back. Bernie Madoff was a legend. The name carried weight. A Wall Street icon who always seemed to win when everyone else was losing. To investors, he was a genius. To regulators, he was trustworthy. To the public, he was the man who made money look easy. But behind that calm smile and spotless reputation was a lie that would eventually collapse under its own weight. Madoff started small back in 1960, with just $5,000 he saved working as a lifeguard and installing sprinklers. Over the years, he built a quiet empire. He helped launch the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, served as its chairman, and became one of the most respected men in finance. Everyone wanted to invest with him. He made them believe he had discovered a secret way to beat the market, a strategy that always made steady profits. No matter what, it sounded impossible, but somehow, he kept delivering results. But there were no trades, no magic strategy, no secret formula. Every chart, every report, every profit was fake. Bernie was running what is known as a Ponzi scheme, taking money from new investors to pay earlier ones and pretending those payments were returns. He didn't even hide it in some complicated offshore system. Most of the money just sat in a Chase bank account. He printed out fake statements showing trades that never happened. And because his investors never lost money, they never questioned a thing. The illusion was perfect. His offices looked legitimate. His records looked clean. He even hired small audit firms so they wouldn't dig too deep. The Securities and Exchange Commission had multiple chances to catch him, but always backed off, thinking, it's Bernie Madoff. He's one of the good guys. He used his reputation as a shield, and it worked flawlessly. Meanwhile, he was living like royalty. A penthouse in Manhattan, a mansion in Palm Beach, a home in France, expensive yachts, country club memberships, and the kind of lifestyle most people only dream about. But to keep the scam running, he had to keep the money flowing. If investors ever stopped bringing in cash, the whole thing would fall apart instantly. Then came 2008, the year everything started to break. The global financial crisis hit, markets crashed, and investors everywhere panicked. People who had trusted Bernie for decades suddenly needed to pull out their money. They weren't suspicious yet. They just needed liquidity. But Madoff didn't have their money. He'd spent decades recycling it through his fake investment loop, and there was nothing left to give back. And then came the moment that ended it all. The last transaction. One of his largest clients requested to withdraw $7 billion. Normally, Bernie could stall or shuffle funds to buy time, but not this time. There were no new investors, no cash, no way out. That one withdrawal request was like pulling the final card from a house of cards. Everything crumbled in seconds. That night, Bernie sat his two sons down and told them the truth. He said, "It's all one big lie." His sons, who actually believed the business was legitimate, were shocked. They contacted their lawyers and went straight to federal authorities. Within 2 days, the FBI showed up at Madoff's penthouse. When they asked if there was an innocent explanation, Bernie said, "There is no innocent explanation." The man who once managed billions of dollars in other people's money was arrested in his home wearing a gray sweatshirt and slippers. He confessed to running a fraud worth more than $65 billion, the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. It wiped out charities, retirement funds, universities, and life savings. Generations of trust vanished overnight. In 2009, Madoff pleaded guilty to 11 federal felonies and was sentenced to 150 years in prison. But the damage wasn't just financial. It destroyed his family. His wife, Ruth, lost nearly everything. His son, Mark, took his own life 2 years later. His other son, Andrew, died of cancer not long after. The Madoff name became a permanent symbol of greed and betrayal. Bernie Madoff died in prison in 2021 at the age of 82, still claiming he was trying to make things right in the end, though most people never believed that. Investigators have spent years tracing billions of dollars, recovering what they can, and untangling the layers of deceit he left behind. The wild part is, if the 2008 crash hadn't happened, if that one investor hadn't asked for their money, Bernie might have kept it going for years. He could have lived and died as one of the most admired men in finance. That's what makes this story so unreal. It didn't take a team of detectives or a complex operation to expose him. Just one transaction. One investor. One request that couldn't be filled. And that is the irony of it all. The man who built his empire on fake transactions was finally brought down by a real one. So next time you hear about someone making consistent, risk-free profits, remember Bernie Madoff. Remember how trust, when left unchecked, can blind even the smartest people. Because in the end, one question, can I have my money back, was all it took to destroy the biggest lie in financial history.